I'll start this panel discussion with a small memory from my childhood. So I was always a very inquisitive child. So every time I would switch on the tap, I would want to know what happens to this water which has flown into the pipe and it's now gone. And every time I would press the flush, I would think, okay, where is all this waste going? Sounds crass, but these are questions which every citizen should actually know. Now, 16 years of government service, and I didn't find answers to this question. Now, as Municipal Corporation Commissioner and CEO Smart City, I have begun to understand what happens to what. So, while citizens by and large are happy having their city clean, government and government off ho gaya. So today's panel discussion is about what happens once we have cleaned up our cities. So we have distinguished guests on our panel who can immensely contribute to our understanding of the subject matter. Dr. Ramakant has already been introduced to you. He's an expert on water. Madam Hargunjit Kaur, she manages the finances of Chandigarh administration. Madam Namita Solanki, she is head of delivery of smart spaces in Hitachi. Professor Narsing is founder and CEO of Urban Development Research and Training Institute, Hyderabad. So, I would like to direct my first question to Professor Narsing Rao. Any municipal body has acute issues of resources. We flounder on what is the best way to go ahead, which technology to adopt, how to design our project, so on and so forth. These are specialized questions. And you head a premier research and training institute. In that context, I would like to ask you, how do you envision the role of education and capacity building in fostering innovation and best practices in waste management and sanitation among urban planners and local authorities?
Good afternoon, madam, and all the participants. I am Professor Narsing Rao, representing Urban Development Research and Training Institute located at Hyderabad. Our institute was founded during 2001, and it has been concentrating on the core point of training the municipal corporation employees in various subjects like effective administration, water supply system and management, engineering systems, and etc. So, water supply outlets, madam has question about it. It goes into drainage systems. From there onwards, it goes into the central pool, whereby it is processed further. Our specialty lies in training the municipal corporation employees with respect to effective governance in municipal corporations with the increase of revenues without raising the tariff. This is my core area, but however, I have been asked to deal with a different subject. In this regard, I would like to stress the citizens to be more careful while releasing the wastewater, and also engineering staff to concentrate on its collection and segregation and move into final spot. Though I am not an authority on water subject, I feel that engineering staff should be trained in the best possible manner to operate, control, and the systems perfectly well. and at the same time, the citizens also should be disciplined to make the process simple in order to minimize the wastage of water, etc. In this regard, I wish to convey this message to the August gathering. Please.
Something which is key and pivotal to all organizations, whether you come from the industry, whether we are part of government, because at the end of the day, the work is to be executed by somebody down the line. The project has to be conceptualized and designed. That is a typical core activity. It has to be tendered. That is a core activity. It has to be executed. That is a core activity. It has to be monitored. That is a core activity. So at every stage, every person handling that job needs to have capacity building. And I'm sure with organizations like that of Professor Rao's, we should, their organization, their training institute should be able to show us the right way forward. As important as human resources are, I'm sure all of us understand how important finances are. We might design a beautiful project, but it'll only remain in the paper if we cannot execute it. This is where Madam Hargunjit Kaur plays a very important role. So I would direct my next question to her. Ma'am, how does Chandigarh administration prioritize funding and resource allocation for waste management and sanitation projects?
Good afternoon, everyone, and especially good afternoon to you, ma'am. As a finance person, I've been asked a ticklish question, but I'll try to answer it in a way that all of us would understand. Financing and budgeting as an exercise is not very difficult to understand if all of us start thinking of how we budget our household expenditures. So one is a macro level budgeting, in which you must all have heard that India's 3% of budget is for education, 2% for defense, etc., etc. So at a macro level, the budgets are not designed for a particular need. Although there is a thought that the Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 Sustainable Goals, should be the basis on which the budget allocations should be done. But it is yet a process which is in pipeline and not happening for the current time. So at the micro level, as far as Chandigarh is concerned, I can say with reasonable pride and assurance that whatever are the demands of the city are being adequately met in terms of finances. And I don't recall an incident when the financial resources were a problem to execute a project. So Chandigarh, that way, being a union territory, has a special advantage. But even in Chandigarh, we are now 70 years old, and the sewerage systems and the water supply systems, which were set up, say, 50 years ago or 40 years ago, need a rehaul. And retrofitting, as we generally do in government, is always a more expensive proposition than a greenfield project. So there, I feel that we spend more money than we should for doing the same thing when we retrofit things. And secondly, the concept of cost to company, that how much cost is occurring to the municipal corporation for the water supply and to make the water reach the households. Are we recovering that? We generally fall short, and there are losses in between. So if we are spending 100 rupees on the water supply, so how much are we getting back? That becomes a mainstay for the central government to decide how much further they should fund the projects. And everywhere now there is a talk of going green, going high tech, be it waste management, be it transportation, be it the water supply. And we all know that green tech is expensive, at least currently, and it's going to remain so in the near foreseeable future. So a petrol car, if it costs 5 lakhs, the EV vehicle of the same category is going to cost 8 to 9 lakhs. So are we as citizens of this country willing to do that extra expenditure? This is a collective decision which we need to take. It's not possible to take such decisions in a jiffy. They are a part and parcel of our national consciousness. And I am glad that these types of conferences, these types of conclaves, they help generate an awareness as to what is important for us and helps forming a public opinion on the issues, which ultimately gets translated into policy. Thank you.
Thank you, Hargun. So Hargun has flagged a very important issue of optimization of resources and recovery on a project. I think in technical terms, it's called ROI or something like that, return on investment. So I'll share. So yeah. So I'll share some of Chandigarh Municipal Corporation's experiences, because in the morning I came to know that in addition to being a panelist, I'm also the moderator. So I cannot ask myself the questions. So I will answer some of the questions in general. It's always good to laugh and smile, because otherwise learning also becomes very boring. Any municipal corporation or any civic body which is dealing with public basic amenities, for example, water supply or sewerage or garbage collection or garbage processing, can probably not in the context of our country manage to cut break even. You can probably never recover as much in taxes or cess or fee from your citizens, because the cost to company is extremely high. So there comes the cost, there comes the concept of, I learnt it recently, it is the social rate of return on your investment. So these projects have a very high component of, social development, human index development. Having said that, while it might not be possible for us to 100% recover from the citizen what we are spending, we need to focus on optimization of resources. Those of my friends in government in the audience and also on the dais will realize or will appreciate my point that we are not very good at optimizing our resources. Private sector definitely is better than us, probably because the outflow is happening from a particular pocket than from the taxpayers' money. But times are now coming that we need to learn how to run lean organizations and efficient organizations. So in the government, so there's a question which the moderator was supposed to ask me, but now that I am the moderator, I will ask myself that what is Chandigarh Municipal Corporation doing to optimize its resources? So we have in the past 1 year gone back to our drawing board and we have identified each and every gap in our system, howsoever small or minuscule it might be, because gap is something, even if it is a small crack also, there will be some seepage through that. So our first step was to going back to our drawing boards, identifying all our gaps. And then we started, my engineers often have major fights with me on this, but this is one thing which I learned well when I was in engineering school, that I started drawing up flow charts for everything. So every process in my organization now has a process flow, and through process flow, we have identified where the seepages are happening, leakages are happening, and then we have started putting in mechanisms to gap our to plug our gaps. So in addition to what Hargunjit is from the finance department doing to supplement our efforts, we in the Municipal Corporation of Chandigarh are trying to focus on augmentation of our resources as well as optimization of whatever our finance department or our taxpayer has already given us. So with that, I would like to move on to Dr. Ramakant and ask him to further elaborate on the initiatives and the steps which we as a municipal corporation or any municipal body for that matter should be taking in water management. So my question to you would be, with the rapid pace of urbanization in India, how does the ministry envision integrated sustainable water management practices into urban planning, and what policies are in place to ensure water resilience in expanding urban landscapes?
Thank you, ma'am. When we talk about the policy for the water management, ma'am, as I presented before you in the morning session, that we are running this Amrut 2.0. Before to that, it was Amrut. So under Amrut, we are giving more emphasis for the water security. Water security includes providing water to the people, water conservation, rejuvenation of water bodies, recycling, reuse. So all these parts are integrated for this Amrut 2.0. So the policy for rejuvenation, that we are sanctioning the projects to the states and cities, they are taking up. And if you allow me, then I can just share some data with you because I have the data. If you talk about the water body rejuvenation, ma'am, actually about 1,367 DPRs are under preparation for water rejuvenations. And out of that, about 1,300 DPRs already approved at the cost of about 2,000 crores. So that is one of the steps that we are also going for the recycling and reuse of the wastewaters. For that, about 70 projects for recycling and reuse we have approved at this city level, state levels. Out of that, the total sewerage projects we approved about 333 projects at the cost of about 30,000 crores. So these are the integrated process we are taking up as a policy for the Amrut 2. And we presume that if we take all these steps for rejuvenation, recycling, in fact, one more component is the mapping of this groundwater. So if we take all these policy all together, I think we could able to provide a good quality of water. We could able to get more water as a surface water, as groundwater resources, conservations. So these all we are taking efforts under the Amrut, ma'am. So these are the some of initiatives we are taking.
So just adding on to what Dr. Ramakant was just saying about water management, Government of India is extremely focused and allocating huge budgets for waste management as well as water management, dedicated funds. However, each city needs to do its own thing. Talking about Chandigarh, people often ask me, हमें 24/7 पानी की क्या जरूरत है? पानी की और ज्यादा वेस्टेज आपको करने की क्या जरूरत है? क्योंकि आज चंडीगढ़ को सिर्फ 8 घंटे पानी मिलता है, सवेरे 4 घंटे मिलता है, शाम को 4 घंटे मिलता है. कॉन्ट्रैरी टू पब्लिक बिलीफ, जब आपके पास 24/7 अश्योर्ड पानी की सप्लाई होती है तो सिटीजन पानी का वेस्टेज कम करता है. आज हम चंडीगढ़ में Dr. Ramakant was mentioning some national level figures. I'll just give you some very striking figures from Chandigarh. 35% पानी हम वेस्ट करते हैं. नेशनल एवरेज इज 15%. तब जब हमारे पास 8 घंटे पानी है. ये जो 24/7 वाटर सप्लाई का प्रोजेक्ट हम लेके आने लगे हैं, जिसको डॉक्टर रमाकांत ने ही गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया लेवल पे वेट किया.
Ma'am, one supplement, ma'am. See, if you are going for 24/7 water supply, your demand will be 100 LPCD instead of 135 LPCD.
Exactly.
So we are
So I was
reducing
just
our
coming
water
to that.
demand and
Exactly.
consumption also.
So, contrary to public belief, और एडिशनल पानी नहीं लेके आना पड़ता है 24/7 वाटर सप्लाई के लिए. हम सिटीजन की जिंदगी भी इम्प्रूव करेंगे कि उन्हें चैन की नींद आएगी कि सवेरे लाइन में नहीं खड़े होना है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल इन स्लम इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज वो लेडी जो है वो सवेरे से अपना बकेट लेके खड़ी हो जाती है. इवन घर की लेडी सवेरे उठ के पानी का नल खोल के रखती है कि भाई मैंने पानी भर के रखना है. So we shall do away with all those worries, all those stresses. At the same time, use lesser water than, as Dr. Ramakant says, than what we are using now through optimization of resources, plugging all the gaps which we have in the system. That is how we should be designing smart projects instead of just designing projects for this. So thank you, Dr. Ramakant.
मैम इसमें मैं एक और पॉइंट ऐड करना चाहती हूँ, which is a technology thing, that when you supply water for 4 hours and then you stop the water supply, तो जो pipes हैं उनमें because of the vacuum that is created उसमें corrosion होता है. So when the 24/7 water supply will start, the hardware that we have launched, उसका भी life जो है वो बढ़ेगा and it will have its great impact on the total project cost as well. So it's a win-win situation, I guess, in every which way.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for your comments. Now, I would like to ask Namita Solanki ji, who is head of delivery smart spaces from a beacon industry, Hitachi. Ma'am, Hitachi is known for its expertise in technology solutions. Can you highlight some of the cutting edge technologies that Hitachi is developing or implementing to enhance waste management and sanitation, or even waste water management?
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this question. And I think everyone is doing amazing work in this Chandigarh city, and government is also taking a lot of initiatives. So in terms of the technology, I think Hitachi is very way ahead in terms of developing new kind of concepts and implementing that. So for water system, if you ask me, there is a concept which I also mentioned in my presentation earlier, which is an intelligent water system. So that is where you manage all your systems together. So I'm sure every day when you get up in the morning, you would like to see few KPIs and in your dashboard, correct? What is water leakage? Where is water wastage happening? So these are the few things which are challenges, and technology can definitely enable all of these challenges of the city. And in terms of waste management, I think the biggest challenge, or I think the ethos is that we should definitely reduce it. And it breaks my heart when I see that there is no segregation at the source level. So as citizens, I think it's not right that we should always come and complain to you, but we should also take some responsibility, and it should be very community driven. And so in terms of waste, we have developed a solution with the IUDX, and we also worked with Varanasi government, where we developed how do you reduce the unattended waste and underutilized of your waste collection vehicles. So that is something which also improves your operational efficiency, and also in a longer term, it reduces your cost. So I think technology, you can think and it can happen. So you have to come up with a challenge, and we'll come up with a solution. And I'm sure being the Japanese companies, we are very best in the quality, and we are already solving a lot of problems, and we want to work as a social innovation organization as well. So I think it's great that everyone is doing, and we would love to work with you and understand what are your challenges and where technology can help you. So, yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Namita ji. So we are approaching the close of this panel discussion, but I would really look forward to addressing another question to Hargun, which is taking forward what Namita ji was saying, that government has a lot of challenges to throw, and the private sector can probably be approached or requested or roped in to give us solutions which we probably are not very equipped to handle. So Hargunji, can you discuss or tell us about successful public-private partnerships or innovative financing models that Chandigarh has adopted or you think can adopt to drive advancements in waste management and sanitation infrastructure?
Waste management is an area where the government will definitely need public participation. By that I mean the private players' participation. So, so far, the normal route of PPP mode participation is in the vogue. But as the government is supporting the startup scenario all across the country, so we are also looking at the low cost but high impact technology solutions. The young minds who are adept at causing a disruption are coming with bright ideas in the field of waste management and green tech and water management as well. So, Government of India and Chandigarh administration is very starry-eyed to have solutions. Chandigarh has a public bike sharing system which is on a PPP mode and a fairly successful one. Since the waste management currently is a very high cost endeavor, so I don't think currently we have a PPP model, but as more and more solutions, more and more low cost solutions come up, I think that is the way to go for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Hargun. I know it's lunchtime and we would all want to proceed for lunch. So I'll wrap up this session on the note that waste processing, whether it is solid waste management or liquid waste management, is probably the need of the hour. It takes me back to the time when our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi gave this clarion call for Swachh Bharat in, I believe, 2014. Yes, and it was not about clean streets or litter-free streets or clean toilets, while that was part of his vision. But as part of the Viksit Bharat campaign, as part of Atmanirbhar Bharat, processing of solid waste and processing of liquid waste definitely is extremely important, not just for Government of India, but for every single urban local body and for every single citizen, because that directly impacts our quality of life. So thank you so much, Ramakanti. Would you want to?
Yes. With your permission, ma'am.
Yeah.
I would like to say something. That.
Yeah, we'll take a couple of
that
questions.
ministry is also running a program, ma'am. That is called Pitch Pilot India program. Under that program, we are giving about 20 lakh rupees to all Indian startup company.
Okay.
And every year we are giving award to them. Last year we have given about 75 startup companies, those who are from India and Indians, and
Thank you.
in that
Thank you
company,
so
ma'am.
much. Thank you. Can we, yeah. Yeah, you want to add something, please?
Dear friends, whatever we have exchanged so far is missing one aspect. That is, our session's caption is Reshaping Urban Landscapes, Innovations in Waste Management and Sanitation for Cleaner Future. First part of it, Reshaping Urban Landscapes. This on this one, I would like to comment some certain aspects.
Please.
So, primarily, land is considered to be the scarce commodity
Absolutely.
as per economics, in economic terms. So, wherever we go, 3/4 of the space is occupied by water, and only 1/4 is around land for development or something like that. Unless and until we reclaim the land, that is known as land reclamation. Whatever land is which is not in use should be brought into developed area for the purpose of building habitats, say other social facilities like roads, water bodies, etc. That will improve the culture of the city from our UDRTI's point of view. So, in this connection, landscapes, even in land also, there are 3 types of lands as per our knowledge. That is basic land or general land, and second one is mountain land, or third one is lands nearer to the rivers, etc. So, our India is huge population. Unless and until we reclaim the land, we are not going to meet with the future challenges of our citizens' housing requirements. This is where I would like to focus upon, please. So, there is a dire need of bringing the vacant lands into developed lands. Then only our government of India can proudly close the task of housing for all. To say it is easier, but to do it is very much cumbersome, difficult. So, in this regard, what our UDRTI intends to focus, we need to bring the vacant lands into developed one, and other coastal area lands. Third one, what I was trying to refer, coastal area lands, also into developed areas. With this, I would like to thank the Honorable Madam for having given me a chance, and as well as Elets Media for giving me a chance.
Thank you. Can we have the question, please? Can someone give the delegate a mic? Okay, right. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody, dignitaries and my colleagues and friends. Actually, it is not a question. Actually, it is. I'm just suggesting something. Like you must have seen the kura, etc., which is being picked up by the people. That is being picked up on a very dirty bag, and they just carry it on the staircases and then they put it back. Actually, so can we introduce chute system? Like you just put a bag in the chute and automatically it goes down actually, and then they can collect it and put it in the dustbin or something like that. Because even after picking up that kura, then you have to clean it with water. In water wastage is also there, so both can be saved, and the collection also will be neat and clean.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We need to focus on how to segregate, how to collect our waste scientifically, how to segregate our waste. While your observations are absolutely spot on, this is a learning process for both government organizations as well as citizens. Some years back, segregation was a concept hitherto unknown to anyone. There were just a couple of cities across the country who were doing segregation. It's a long drawn process of awareness campaigns, reaching out to people and also reaching out to garbage collectors as well, because they are intrinsically part of the system. You're absolutely right. We need to work on the aesthetics of the project. We also need to improve awareness among citizens, and we also need to work on better, robust collection systems. I assure you, we are working on all the same. You might have seen certain good changes over the past couple of years, and let's look forward to some better ones in the years to come. Can I take any more questions? One more question if there are any, or if there are none, then thank you so much, Namita ji. Thank you, Dr. Ramakant. Thank you, Hargun. Thank you, Professor Rao. The session, I'm sure, not just the delegates, but even we on the dais have benefited from the discussion. Thank you so much.